Man, Joe, April 2nd, 2016. Great show here at the O. I cannot believe that we are 28 days from Culture Fest and Heroes versus Villains.
That's right, PK. We are just 28 days away, PK, to show just how good us, the Bad Boys Club, are. To show everybody, show all these ditch diggers here in Cornelia just how great that we are.
Well, Joe, let's look at some of the matches that we had here tonight. Gearing up towards Culture Fest, we had Michael Manson versus Keith Cage. This was for the #1 contender for the Generations Championship. And it ended in a draw when Michael Manson had Keith Cage in the double lock and the 10-minute time limit was hit. Now, Joe, my question is, who's going to face Kit Bryson?
Well, first of all, PK, I'll tell you something. Of course, the time limit was hit because Keith Cage didn't tap out. Well, it's easy not to tap out when you're 10 years old and you can easily recover from such injuries. And the bottom line is, it doesn't matter who they decide will face Kid Bryson for the Generations title. It doesn't matter. The point is they're going to wind up losers because they're going up against us, the Bad Boys Club.
Well, then, Joe, I say we go ahead and go all in. Why don't we just go ahead and have a three-way triple threat for the Generations title?
Whoa.
Let Michael Manson and Keith Cage and Kit Bryson go for it, and let's see who comes out on top.
BK, don't you go and start putting ideas in the head of Anthony Fonzarelli's mind. There you go again, trying to put spin into this Heroes versus Villains, trying to make your mark. The bottom line is, if it's one of them or if it's two of them, they are going to wind up losers. You want to know why? Because they're going up against Kit Bryson, one of us, the Bad Boys Club.
Well, Joe, then we had CTMD, Chad Woodentower, versus these guys that we've never seen before, and I doubt we'll ever see again.
Like, they're Canadian?
The Royal Canadian Wrestling Team. I mean, Joe, talk about a setup.
A setup? What, you saying that Canadian wrestlers aren't good enough? Is that
no,
what
Joe,
saying?
I'm very impressed by Canadian wrestlers. I mean, there's been great ones throughout all of wrestling history, but these two guys, we don't even know who they are. They're from Quebec. I tried to talk to either one of them. Neither one of them spoke French.
Well, PK, they also learn English in their schools too, PK. Just because you don't speak French doesn't mean you're Quebecois.
Well, Joe, after that, Jonathan Feltner called Anthony Marinelli into the ring, and he said, I'll face you at Heroes versus Villains, but I want CTMD in my corner.
Fair enough.
And then all of a sudden, the Royal come out, and they say, hey, look.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, look, what? There they go. The Royal sticking their nose in business where it doesn't belong, or where they don't belong, should I say.
Well, the bottom line is they're going to be in Anthony Marinelli's corner there at Heroes versus Villains. And what's really great, Joe, is that Anthony Marinelli said, look, the tag team titles are on the line. No disqualifications, no countouts. We're going to have a victory either way. And, Joe, I'm looking forward to that match.
Let me tell you something, PK, what that was. For Anthony, Tom, and Jerry, that was an abuse of power, PK. He decided to abuse his power because he's going to attempt to steal some glory and say, I helped win the tag team championship. It ain't going to work, Mr. Anthony Serengeti. Your time is up. You're not going to win. The bottom line is CTMD is going to walk away from Heroes versus Villains as still your tag team champions.
Joe, I always find it interesting when the odds aren't in your favor or in your boy's favor, how all of a sudden it's just, I can't believe he stuck his nose into this.
Anyways,
just
like you spin everything.
Nah, Joe. Then we had Logan Adams versus Adrian Phillips. Logan Adams, who in his debut match became the #1 contender for the corporate championship,
good man.
takes on Adrian Phillips. Here he has a chance to take on a former corporate champion to kind of really cut his chops and to see what it would take to hold that title. And what does he do? He takes a chair and he hits Adrian Phillips with it, losing by disqualification.
That's right, PK, and I'll tell you something. Adrian Phillips had it coming. He was getting this big head with guys like you saying, he's the most improved wrestler of 2014. You know how long ago 2014 was? 2 years ago. It's been a long time, PK, and I'll tell you something. It was about time that someone humbled him and put a chair over his head. Maybe they'll take him back to his roots, and he'll actually start trying again.
Well, Joe, then we had the Bad Boys Club.
Yeah.
And they originally had challenged Brody Dillinger to a match. And the Bad Boys Club was represented by Jake Hughes, Kit Bryson, and Curtis Coleman. And they said, hey, you bring out two guys that you want. Two of your friends, you bring them out. And, Joe, who does he bring out? Slim J and this other guy, Billy Buck, that we haven't seen here in the OSWA, but who has been wrestling for a long time.
Can I correct this, people? It was who did he pay to come out and fight in his battle for him?
Does it matter whether he paid him or not?
PK. He has no friends. He's a loser, just like everybody who takes on us, the Bad Boys Club.
Well, Joe, Kit Bryson did get the pin for the Bad Boys Club by, by grabbing Slim J's tights and pinning him.
Oh, PK, say what you want, but the point is the better men won tonight. The Bad Boys Club won. Now, was it a good match? Of course it was a good match, but the point is we were the better ones. We're the winners. They're the losers, and that's all I have to say because everybody knows that I'm right. All you ditch diggers out there know that I'm right.
So, Joe, wait a minute. Brody Dillinger's a loser?
Yeah.
Slim J's a loser?
Oh, PK, will you stop putting words in
Billy
my mouth?
Buck's a loser?
Oh, PK, will you shut up?
Because we got Billy Buck right here, as a matter of fact.
Hey, fellas, what's going on?
Billy Buck, welcome to the OSWA. It was great to see your match, man. I really enjoyed calling it. Had a chance to talk to my wife and kids after the match. They were here for the OSHO today, and, man, they loved it. They thought you guys were incredible, and they thought you in particular did a great job.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast. Hopefully the future will hold up and see if I can come back.
We'd love to have you. So tell me, what brought you to the OSWA, and what do you hope to achieve?
You mean, a lot of times Slim J is a close friend of mine. A lot of people don't realize that. And he gave me a call and told me about, that he needed a little hand. So I figured I'd two-step my way up here and help him out.
Well, that's great. Well, hey, it was great having you here. We hope to see you in future matches. You're a great competitor. You definitely showed the Bad Boys Club that you are definitely a force to be welcomed with. Welcome to the OSWA.
Thank you.
And we look forward to calling matches later on down the road.
All right.
Well, Joe, then we had our co-main event. The Monster Z and Chris Damien reunited. The Dominion reunited.
That's right, PK.
And it felt so good.
Oh, stop it.
I was wondering
PK.
if you're paying attention.
Of course I'm paying attention.
And they were taking on Jackson Carter, and it was supposed to be the White Knight, but the White Knight instead had this Squire fill in for him. He backed out and said, had the Squire fill in for him.
Backed out? No, PK. What you're saying the White Knight just sort of cowered away?
I wouldn't say that, but yes.
Of course you're saying it because you just said yes. But the point is, PK, I think the White Knight was playing it very smart. Chris Damien, he's already battle-weary. He's already beat up. He's already broken down. And the bottom line is the White Knight is keeping himself fresh. He's keeping himself ready. And I will guarantee you this, come 28 days from now, he's going to go into that ring. He's going to crush the battle-weary Chris Damien. And he's going to walk away still our ultimate champion.
Well, Joe, that has yet to be seen. The Dominion, though, they hit the purge. They wind up pinning the Squire to get the win here tonight. All of a sudden, the other Squire goes in the ring. Chris Damien takes him down. He gets up fresh like he hadn't been wrestling at all, looks at his wrist, points to it, looks at the White Knight and says, it's just a matter of time.
By the way,
Joe, at Heroes versus Villains, White Knight has no other where to go but in that ring and to face him.
That's right. He has nowhere to go but as a fresh man, a strong man, into that ring, ready to show Chris Damien exactly how it is, how to play it smart, and how to win both physically and with wits.
Well, Joe, we are 28 days away from Culture Fest and Heroes versus Villains, but before that, we got our last stop on the road to Heroes versus Villains. That's April 16th here at the O Arena. Doors open at 6 o'clock. We're going to see how much more is going to develop for Heroes versus Villains. Folks, you can follow us, Facebook.com/OSWA Entertainment, YouTube.com/OSWA Entertainment, and, of course, the new and my favorite, OSWA.TV. You can catch up on all things OSWA, see old matches, old shows, and get caught up on the current stuff. Folks, we enjoy our fans. We thank you for coming out, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.